Do you ever just think back to high school and think about how there was that one teacher that didn't really like you and you didn't really like them back? Because, oh boy, have I got a story for you. Hello everyone, welcome back to another story time with yours truly. Thinking back on this story, it's just really wild. Okay, I am gonna humble brag a little bit here, but back when I was in high school, a lot of people liked me. That might have been because of the fact that I was the little sister of one of the football team captains. But that's neither here nor there. If people didn't like me, I had no idea about it, unless you were blatantly obvious. And this one teacher was. She was the health teacher of our school. I had her sophomore year, and I also had her for homeroom both that year and junior year. We'll call her Miss G. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure as to why Miss G hated me to begin with. If I had to pinpoint a reason, I would think it's because, she's a health teacher, tiny, a little petite, and here I am, tall, and plus size. I can't be certain that that is the reason, but if I did have to guess, it would probably be that. I will also add, I don't think I was singled out, considering how my friend told me about a story that he had with her. During a group presentation in his class, Miss G said that there was no electricity in the brain, in which everybody in the class said yes there is. Spoiler alert. There is. She threw such a massive fit over it that she said that she was going to fail everybody in the class. The day after, she was all happy-go-lucky. The usual. Thinking back on those presentations we had to do, we were split up into groups and we had to do one of those ourselves. The presentation was why on are bad.
As your counselor, I'm here to tell you about and why they're bad, okay?
We were assigned a different one. I think our group got opioids or something like that. We basically just had to present their effects and why it was bad for you. I was stumped on what to research, and then I ended up finding something that I think would actually lead to a pretty powerful presentation, so I started to look into it. Miss G waltzes over to her group and tells us what specifically we need to research, and all that good stuff. In my eyes, it was way too constricting, and I think I was onto something good right here. I think she told me that what I was researching was wrong and that I had to do specifically what she wanted me to do. Obviously, I let out a little groan because I was just frustrated. I wanted to research something that I think was more powerful than whatever the heck she was telling me to do. She goes, "Can you work or not?" And I said yes. I just wanted to be left alone. I will admit that is just a tiny incident, but still annoying nonetheless. I should also add that my record in high school is pretty squeaky clean, except for like one lunch detention. The reason why I got that lunch detention? Miss G. After her class ended, she told a friend of mine and I to wait back here while she had to go get something to show us. The way that my high school worked, you had 5 minutes to get from one class to another. Her class was on the far end of one wing on the first floor, and I had to get from there to my second class, which was on the third floor on the entire opposite side of the building. You might be thinking, wow, what did she show you? How long did it take? Thing is, she never came back. She ditched us. She left us there. She didn't even give us any late passes. After like 3 or 4 minutes of waiting, my friend and I were like, yeah, let's just go to our classes. So we did. There had been other times where I was a few seconds late to the other class that I had to be at, and this time was no different. At most, I might have been a minute or two late. The teacher of the class I was late to asked me if I had a pass, and I told him I didn't because my teacher basically just ditched us. And with that, he gave me lunch detention, all because I didn't have a late pass. He was a stricter teacher, but I never really had any qualms with him before, only that I'd been late a few times by a few seconds and that I drew a lot in the class. It was usually because I had my work done. Either that or it helped me focus on what he was saying, like y equals mx plus b. And the only time I was ever really failing that class was due to the fact that I was stressing too much about my first ever surgery. If you're a real OG from the days of 2017, you know what I'm talking about. But enough about that. Now you know why I got my first ever lunch detention. Thanks, Miss G. Let's get into the big incident with this teacher. Honestly, it still shocks me to this day that it happened. Remember when I said that I had this teacher for homeroom? Yeah, this is where that comes into play. During her homeroom, I'd usually do my math homework, which I usually finished. And always a minute before, I would start packing up my stuff, getting ready for the classes that I had to be at. On this particular day, she decided to let everyone out a minute early, in which I was still packing my stuff. I was the last kid still in the room, and because of that, she started yelling at me. She was yelling stuff like, "Ava, hurry up! Hurry up!" That type of stuff. And I calmly replied to her, "Okay, I'm just packing up my stuff. I'll be out of here as soon as I can." Once all my stuff was packed, I was about to head out the door, but then I realized my headphones were gone. The pocket of the hoodie I normally wore had a giant hole, and that was the pocket I kept my headphones in which they fell out. I had ran back to my desk, which was all the way in the back of the classroom so I could get them. She was still yelling at me, and she said, "You are so unbelievably selfish," and then she said, "You're going slow on purpose." and that was when I lost it. I had raised my voice saying, "No, I'm not. I had to get my headphones." And I told her this, and my tone was harsh. And when she backed off, she was like, okay. And I told her, no, it's not okay. And then I went to class. That was the first time I ever yelled at a teacher, let alone raise my voice at one. I believe I'm still in the right. No matter if you hate that student or not, you don't say stuff like that to them. And from that moment on, she and I didn't really have any other incidents like that. Despite that, I still kept a distance and I still really did not like her. Then again, I think everybody hated her, so I just minded my own business for the rest of that year and my junior year. Although at the end of junior year, when we found out she was retiring, my friend and I were just jumping in our seats at that award ceremony, so ecstatic about nothing else but that. I mean, she was a bitch. Everyone hated her. After finding that out, we found out that she also changed her last name. She changed it to something not because it had any relation to any of her family, she just changed it because she thought it sounded pretty. I mean, to each their own, but that's a little interesting that you just suddenly made that choice. Then after that, I found out why. I will say that this part is alleged, so take this with a grain of salt. But I heard that she was involved in a Simpsons hit and run in which she unalived 2 people. Again, this could very well be false, so take it with a grain of salt, but from how I've interacted with this person, I would not put it past her. I guess the moral of this story is don't let people push you around, even if they are crazy, insane teachers that absolutely hate you for no reason. This is still so crazy to think about for me because this was back in high school and I'm 21 now. But hey, in a few months I'm gonna be turning 22, so that's a cool thing to look forward to. Also, I have an important announcement. I have merch again. I made merch based on my streams, so we have a few different designs here. We have this design of the shirt called If You Heard Me, No You Didn't. We also have that with the textless sticker. Then we have Psst, Hello as a phone case. We also have it as a pin. Then we have the Bell of Good Luck and Elevator Dance as t-shirts. I made Elevator Dance into a sticker too, but without the text. Anywho, I'm super happy that I finally got these designs out now. And it would also mean a lot if you could support just a little bit and buy one of the stickers, maybe. Heck, if you could buy a shirt, that'd be awesome too, but start with just the small things. Either way, support is support, and I really can't thank you guys enough for loving the stream channel so far. Speaking of, I'm gonna be streaming right after this video comes out, so I'll be leaving a comment to that right below. This is my little token of saying thank you for everything that you guys have done for me in support. Give a little, get a little, you know? That being said, I think this is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, give a like. If you have any other wild experiences with teachers, tell me down below. Or heck, even ask me if there's any other stories you want to hear from me. And as always, subscribe. And I think that's the end of the video. See you guys later.